Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So today I thought I would give you a 5-month update about my experience using DriveGo. In case you haven't heard of it, DriveGo is a car subscription service, which is another way of saying a car leasing service. But the big difference is everything is handled online. You go to their website, you see what cars are available in your area, brand new cars. You choose the one that you want, and if you pass their credit score check, you'll be able to choose the mileage that you're willing to stick to, and they send the car directly to your door, and you don't have to put down a down payment either. I did a video 5 months ago talking about my first experience with this company that I'm gonna leave a card up here so that you can check it out. And I'll also put a link in the description because that story is a doozy. It's worth checking out, trust me. But it's been 5 months since then. So here's what the experience has been like. Now, based on my experience from that last video, I wanted to let you know whether or not DriveGo fulfilled their promise of giving me a credit on my monthly bill due to the things that I had to go through the first time. And I have to say, yes, they did follow through with the promise of discounting my monthly bill for 4 months just because of all of the hoops that I had to jump through the first time. So I'm happy that they had lived up to their word on that, and I did not have to contact them again to remind them of what was promised to me. It was already in the system. So I'm glad that that went smoothly. Now, because the cars they send out are brand new, chances are you're not going to run into an issue where you need to get Go involved so that you can take care of repairs. Thankfully, that hasn't happened to me. I haven't needed them for any repairs or anything. The car runs just fine. However, one interesting thing that occurred back in November of 2022, they sent me an email to tell me, hey, when your car was being manufactured, there was a parts shortage for heated seats. So your car doesn't have heated seats, even though it's supposed to. But good news is those parts are in right now, and you can take it up to your local Chevy dealer at any point before November of 2025, and they will install those heated seats for you at no charge. I thought that was pretty cool because I had no idea that the car was supposed to have heated seats. So I'm glad that they sent that reminder, that email to let me know, hey, if you want these, they're available for you. You just have to go and get it. And I would imagine that other cars that might have had features that were omitted because of a part shortage in 2021, that they would have done the same thing for those customers as well. So I appreciate that. Another pretty cool feature when it comes to DriveGo is the mileage checker. Now, when I got the car, the mileage checker did not exist. Basically, you had to keep mental notes or maybe even take pictures of your odometer to make sure you weren't going over the monthly mileage allotment that you signed up for. Because if you do, they'll charge you for every mile that you go over because they got the cars bugged. You know, they know what you're doing. They can track how you're driving and all that stuff, as well as they should, because it's technically their property. But on their website, there is a mileage tracker that keeps track of all that for you. Now, you can still keep the miles yourself, and there might be a slight discrepancy between what they say and what you have, but it's not a really huge discrepancy. But it takes a lot of the guesswork out of knowing how many miles you have gone and how close you are to possibly going over the limit. Now, the other thing is they have rollover miles. So if you don't drive all that much or you don't drive all that far, and let's say you have 833 miles a month that you can use, if you don't use all those, let's say you only want 100 miles in a month, then those 733 miles roll over to the next month. So those will be on top of the 833 additional miles that you're going to get for a new month. So then you combine those two together, and that's the total amount of miles that you can go at any time without having to pay an overage. And you can keep track of that online with their mileage tracker. Now, unfortunately, the mileage tracker disappeared for like 2 or 3 months. They said they were taking it down for maintenance, and then it just did not come back. And I was wondering what the heck is going on. But then as soon as I was going to inquire about it, they did bring the mileage tracker back. So it was absent, but it's back again. And I can also say that they do keep track of those rolled over miles because I contacted customer service to ask them how many miles do I have banked, and they got back to me the exact same day and they let me know. And that was tested even further in December when I had to drive to my grandmother's funeral in another state. And that was like a 700 plus mile round trip in order to do that. I had banked up a lot of miles before then because I don't drive the car all that much. And they kept track of it. They remembered it. I didn't have a weird overage on my bill or anything. I didn't have to remind them, hey, I have banked miles that I can use. Why are you charging me, over for that? Everything was tallied. Everything was kept track of. And I didn't have any problems with that. So the rollover miles promise, it is legit and they do stick to it. Another thing that they made easy that I'm happy about is they made it easy to add another driver to the account. So in this case, it was my wife because the car is under my name. So if she wants to drive the car, Go needs her information as well. So they have a very simple website that I was able to go to and send in her license front and back and a $25 fee to get her put on. They did it quickly. She was on there quickly and there were no issues with that. So I'm glad that whole process went by really fast and really smooth too. Now, one thing that happened that I wish didn't is that they added a convenience fee, a processing fee, transaction fee, whatever you want to call it, if you use a credit card to use your monthly payment. So I think the percentage is like 1.9% or something like that. So you'll have to debit directly from like a bank account or like a debit card or something if you want to avoid that transaction. So that sucks, but everybody's trying to get a little extra money out of the common guy these days. And I also wish that they will let you easily change your payment method online. It's not something I see you've been able to do. There's a tab for it, but it doesn't do anything. So you have to contact them if you want to change your payment method, which I don't like. I don't want to give a human my card information. I would much rather just do it over the computer where, I don't have to interact with anyone at all, because I just don't want anyone copying my stuff down. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I wish that they made that process easier. Like I said earlier, I don't do a ton of driving in the car, but when it comes time for oil changes and basic preventative maintenance, they keep track of that and they're supposed to email me to let me know, hey, it's time for your maintenance checkup or whatever, and then I'll be able to go and get that taken care of. And it won't be of any cost to me. They take care of all of that. So I can't speak on how smooth that experience is going to be, but if it's anything like the proactive communication when it came to telling me about the heated seats for the car, then things should go smoothly. So I'm not too sure how the maintenance thing is going to work, but I'll give you a little update when I find out. And since I got my car, I've been periodically looking and reading at other people's reviews to see what their experience has been like. And it's pretty much broken down into two categories. You have people who have been really happy with the service because it was simple for them to go online, apply for a car, and if they were approved, the car was delivered to them right when Go says the car is going to be delivered to them. And they're really happy about that. But then on the other side of the spectrum, you have people who had experiences like mine, where the car was not delivered when it was supposed to be delivered. And even though that may not be too big of a problem, the big part of that was the lack of proactive communication on Go's part to keep me and them informed of what was going on with the delays, and not just keeping us in the dark about everything. One of the marks of really good customer service is keeping your customer informed of things, not making them feel like you've forgotten about them, which is how I felt during my first run-in with Go. So it seems like that still happens to an extent, but not a whole lot. The overwhelming majority of reviews that have been left have been really positive reviews, but the more negative reviews that I've seen always seem to be about the same stuff. It was either the lack of communication or delays with getting a proper permanent license plate, and some people having to deal with having an expired temporary tag and having to go through the frustrations of that, because you can't legally drive the car on an expired temporary tag unless you want to get a ticket. So they've had to work with Go on that, and it hasn't been working as quickly as they want to. But like I said, from what I've seen, those issues seem to be in the minority, and most people have a good positive experience with this service. So you can roll the dice, and if you do, chances are things are going to be fine. But just know that there is a common thread when things do start to go wrong. But, you know, since I got that car 5 months ago, my experience has been perfectly fine. Haven't had any issues with them since then. Cross my fingers I didn't just jinx myself. But if you're interested in checking out DriveGo, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. You can see what cars they have available for your area and see if they service your area. And they do have a wide variety of cars of different price points, which I think their least expensive car is going to be like a Nissan Sentra, and the most expensive car is a 2023 Jeep Wagoneer that I think had a sticker price of like $70,000. So that is a very expensive car, and it's like over $1,000 a month to have that. But they have a nice wide variety: pickup trucks, sedans, SUVs. There's even a Tesla Model Y on there, a couple of BMWs, a Prius. You know, it's a little something there for everybody. All right, so that's been my experience with Go. And if you're wondering about it and wondering what the experience is like in the long run, well, I hope I was able to help you out. But that's it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll keep you updated. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.